Hey guys, I'm gonna go over my nail and hammer defense that I use against G3, B3 openers. This is a trap line that I use that works really well against beginner and intermediate players, and then also still is a strong opening to use against stronger players as well. So basically, if you're playing black and your opponent's open with G3, B3, or B3, G3 in either order, um, the kind of the start of this is to play B6, and then you get the other opening here, the other pawn up, and then so kind of the main idea of this line is I'm going to push my A pawn, and then we trade these pieces away. And basically what I've done is set up this pawn on A2 as the target that I'm going for. So when I kill it, his rook then has two pieces that it needs to kill, and then with that tempo I can usually find a mate. So kind of another bonus to this opening is there's a handful of blunders that white makes on a pretty regular basis, and so it's kind of like free easy win. So I'm going to start with just opening blunders that white makes. So this first one is E3. So if they play G2 followed by E3, this is mate. So you grab their bishop, and then it's just kind of like the BB7, kind of like the suicide defense, but the difference is that this pawn is already up, so you have that basically free tempo in order to get additional pieces. So there's a few different routes that you can go from here, but basically what I do in this situation is grab their knight. So typically it's a weaker player that makes this mistake as white, so most cases they're going to capture with their bishop so that you're only having to focus on getting one piece killed at a time and not having them have multiple targets. So at this point here I can get the knight and kind of just keep moving it along. I ditched my rook, so then I can grab the knight the rest of the way. So that's kind of the first mistake that white can make. The second one is bringing their bishop out to h3, which I'll have another line right after this. I've discussed, if you've watched my videos, you know we don't bring our bishops out to h3 or a3 because you're going to lose. So same type of deal here. I'm going to bring my bishop over and basically do the same thing. This time I'm killing the king, so his queen moves over, but again, kind of the same idea. I'm going to get either the knight or the queen, and you'll kind of notice this pattern of using the bishop to take the rook and then get mate from here. So I guess I'll go through both of these. So first, if they grab with the knight, you can grab it and then you go and get the queen. And then there's multiple ways to get the mate here. You just got to make sure that you're not accidentally covering a piece. You know, just keep scooting out of the way, and then you can get the win. Going back, is it here? No. If they capture with the pawn, this piece is covered, so you need to move that up. And you see that this piece is covered, so you move that up. And now this piece is covered, so I move that up. And then you'll see that they're attacking with their bishop here, which most of the time they don't see that. So I kind of just, I know that's their only kill for their queen. They usually do that first because that's all that they see. Get that one back, and then whatever you want to do, just grab the bishop and finish the cleaning. The next beginner mate here is if they open with b3 first, I'm still going to play my b6. And then this is like the same thing, but on the opposite side. If they bring out the bishop to a3, I still do the bb7, and I come up here, and then this, no matter which one they kill with here, it's a pretty simple mate. So starting with, if they capture back with their bishop, which probably makes no sense. I don't know. They're all losing. So then he has to come down and get my rook, and then I can get his knight and have the knight do some killing. And then just keep going, keep going, keep going. And then just make sure that I can get both of my knights killed here at the end. So that's the first route. If instead they kill with the dark bishop, you capture back with your king, and now you have their light bishop to run through. And again, just kind of make sure you're getting everything killed. And then there you go for that one. And then lastly, I think we didn't do this one, which in this case, you take their rook, and then their bishop has to move past. And now you've got another tempo, and you can grab both of their bishops. So now you've got 2 bishops to run through everything, and kind of just take your time, pick either bishop to work, use both of them, whatever order you want to do. Just make sure you don't, miss it and forget to get one. So those are the kind of the second moves that are blunders that get you easy wins. And so just by doing that, you'll see a lot of those from like beginner players. Now kind of moving into kind of the main lines, the main point of this hammer and nail and hammer defense. Very common blunders at this point. So again, my plan is to get my knight out so that when they're attacking something, I can move here and then attack this square and get 2 kills in a row. Oftentimes I see 2 different moves with the bishop here. If they bring their bishop out, this is mate. So this is bb7 again, and you'll kind of see this pattern over and over again. So now my queen comes up. Most of the beginners are gonna take down here, and even if they don't, if they capture back with their queen first, you can still get the win. But I'm not gonna go through all of those unless somebody can't figure it out and ask me to do it. So you kind of see this position again where they can take with either their knight or their pawn. So if they take with their pawn, you get their queen, and do kind of a pattern with that. If they take with their knight, you move the pawn up and then go get their queen, and kind of same thing. There's like, this is the only piece that's covered right now, so we push that up, and no matter which piece they take, I'm going to move my knight, and then kind of just set up the remainder of these kills. If I go back, let's see, where is it? Here, if they take with their pawn, again, this piece is covered, so I need to move it up, and then this piece is covered, so I need to move it up, and now this piece is covered, so I need to move it up. And so it's the same pattern as the other one that I showed you. And then from this spot, you should be able to win. It's just like, all right, give them less options, so they have one space that they have to kill. And get the win. So then the second one from that spot, so again, kind of getting into this position, is if they move up to e3. So kind of, you notice this, bringing the bishop out here or moving this pawn up in this spot, similar types of running. So I'm going to grab the bishop and then do bb7, and all of a sudden I've got this same line over again. Kind of the catch is to make sure to kill the king. And then when they come here, now they have to kill with their knight. We grab that, so then we can get the queen, and then the same similar pattern as the one before, and we get the win there. And I get tons of wins just from that line, and so I've got it all pre-moved and memorized because it's all forced and real simple. All right, so then kind of more lines that go with this. So regular opening again. So this is a pretty common defense that I see, and I'll talk about this in a little bit, but a lot of people think that running their king over here is what they're ultimately trying to do. So I bring my knight out again, hoping that at some point, if they start attacking one of my other pieces, that I can then move to b4 with my knight and line up myself for that tempo. So if they bring their king over, what I'm doing here, oh, and I don't have this game saved. Is this is what I meant to do. Yeah, so if they bring their knight out, what I do is I push this pawn up, which is kind of key for the cleaning. So in a lot of situations, after I bring my knight out, I'm going to push my pawn up, which makes it so if I kill this spot and his rook has 2 kills to get these 2, I can then get my bishop over here. And if this pawn is pushed up, then I can slide my queen over and get it killed, so he's not on this spot where it's like double covered by these pieces. So in this game, the white brings their knight out, and I push my pawn, and then they come down here. So now they're attacking these squares. Excuse me. So I do this move to go for this. Now this doesn't, I'd have to go back and look. I guess I can put on Stockfish here. So technically, no, this is mate. I guess it doesn't matter. If they capture on this one, this still works. But most of the time they're going to capture the rook, because they're trying to they're like, oh, you got to come up here, so it's fine, when it's not. And then also, even if they come over here and kill the bishop, the same type of cleaning and results happen because they've got 2 kills that he has to do, and now I've got both of their rooks. So because I have this pawn pushed up, I can grab this rook and bring my queen over, and then from here you can kind of just do whatever you need to in order to get the rook to run through all of your pieces, and then, you know, use their other pieces if need be too. So another trap line that comes with this. So this is what I was talking about. So this move I see a lot. I'm going to bring my knight out, and then you see this also, and kind of their thought is, oh, we're going to bring our queen out, which is fine because I've got this set up where I want it. So I'm going to push this pawn, like I said, so that I can get this move off correctly. And then, so the first line is if they bring their queen out here. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the nail with my hammer. They should be coming across here and taking this, but they're going to end up, you know, doing this instead. And then, so no matter what, like, this is a mistake because I can capture back and they still have kills and I'm going to get it. So usually you'll see them taking with the rook first. So similar to that last line, I've got my bishop and my queen over, and then kind of same type of cleaning, whatever they end up doing or not doing, to get it down. So I'm going to do that same opening again where they push e3 with it, and then I'm going to push my pawn, and then they bring their queen to a different space. So, all right, they're attacking here. I'm going to go hit the nail, set up the 2 kills, and then do the cleaning again. So, again, just kind of be careful when you're doing this that you don't accidentally, you know, cover a space. And so that same line again, but the queen going to the 3rd spot that we didn't. So out to g4. which they're like, oh, we're going to attack this, and then your bishop's going to come and have to kill here, but I'm doing this instead. So in this spot, they should kill my knight. Almost all the time they take this piece instead. If they come and attack the middle, I'll show that too. If they attack the middle, they're okay. If they take d7, if they come back up and grab b5 after that, whereas if they take any of these pieces down here, it's still a win. But we'll start with the most common thing that I see. So I get the rook that needs to attack. Doesn't matter which spot he takes down here or if it's up top. We still get mate. So I'll get rid of the dark squared bishop first, and then you'll see that same bishop queen slide over, and then just move the pieces however you need to get him to do all the kills. If I go back, let's see, to this square, if we go down here, like I said, I'm going to take up here no matter what to line up 2 kills. Like the only move that's safe for them, and it's not losing, like technically white's ahead in this position, but I don't know that I ever see anybody actually do that. So if they just slide over, then I can grab with anything. And now they've got a couple kills lined up. And then in this spot, I've got their bishop pinned on this piece. So they've got like 2 different spots that they could kill. So I take the rook in this situation, but I could take these pawns too. Like there's different ways to do the cleaning. But this one I was like, all right, let's get the bishop out and then and run it through my pieces. And then if I go back, I don't know if we want to go through all of those or not. If we say, I don't know if I did one of these up here. Yeah, coming down here. So this is pretty obvious. So now you see, now I don't have anything that I need to kill, and they've got these lined up. So I'm not going to go through this. The same type of thing. Bring your queen over and run it through. So now I'll run. This is actually the most common thing that I see from slightly stronger players is they'll play d3, and then with the thought that they're going to move their queen or their king over to here so that they have me lined up to do 2 kills. So I bring my knight out, and then I push this pawn like I have before. So bring the knight out and push the pawn, kind of getting the trap set up. And then if they go ahead and move their king down here, now that's mate for me. So now I bring in my king or my knight, and most of the time they're going to bring their king right here because they still think that, oh, I don't care if you're attacking here because you're going to have to go here and here. But that's a miscalculation because they go there. And then I attack with my knight, and now so basically moving their king to this spot is mate. So no matter which piece they take with, I have mate. Usually we'll see them capture with the rook. So we'll do that line first. So then I capture back, and now I have the rook. And then so we just kind of, I ditch the queen because that's kind of covering some pieces, and then get rid of my dark squared bishop. And then I should be able to move my bishop over and then kind of move pieces around until you get everything killed in like whatever order you want. Come back up here. Wait, that's, maybe is it this spot? Yes. So then the other option is if they decide they're gonna take with their king, I can basically pull the king all the way down, and then I can get my queen killed, and now I have the rook and the queen, and from this spot we should be able to basically get a pretty simple cleaning. Like you can either use the king or the rook, combination of both, and you see they kind of have to go and grab them all. And then the last one, what did I just do? If they take this one first, so that he's moving back up, um, I can actually move my knight down, so now the king's lined up for 2 kills, and that's just kind of like a delaying move. And then similar to what I just did last time, figuring out just wherever you want to move to make them go through all the pieces. So that's kind of the main idea, is that getting to that point where they think that moving their king into this spot is a win, and it's not. It's just a trap. And then a couple other lines that I'm going to show. I thought I did those. Another kind of like side trap that seems to happen a lot as well, and even against strong players, that they tend to miss this. So kind of a different line here would be pushing to c3, and usually when they're doing this, yeah, I had a couple other chapters. Hopefully they're in it. All right, so I'm still bringing my knight out, and kind of, I'm planning to push this pawn if I can. But so if they bring their queen out in this particular spot, I want to keep my knight, so I just put it back, and then I'm capturing here with my king, and then kind of like the same thing. Everybody's all excited that this pawn is pinned here, and they think that they're going to get a tempo by bringing their king over, and then that's going to somehow get them a win. Which, even if they do manage it, like if they play better and they get this tempo, it's usually not mate. Like I can take a knight or something like that and typically still be fine. Like it's not game over for me if that ends up happening. But in this spot, when they start to walk their king in that direction, I push my pawn up to either e6 or e5, depending on how their pieces are set up here. And so they look and see, both of these moves don't work because I have these spots covered. And they're like, all right, whatever, I'll ignore that and bring my king over. And they totally miss the fact that I can bring my queen out. And then grab their pawn and make it run all the way down and promote. And it's kind of unbelievable the amount of people that miss it. It's kind of like a discovered attack, sort of, but it's just opening up space. And kind of another thing is here, I've got this as well, although that doesn't resolve to anything. But they're all excited about focusing on this, that they miss the fact that my queen can come out. So if I grab the queen, or grab their pawn with my queen, and then I need to slide my king over, so anything that they promote to, I win. Most often you see a king, sometimes queen. Both of them are very easy to clean, so it's kind of like a delaying move, and then move my knight over, and then move these pieces up. So this line here is similar, and I think maybe this one, hopefully I put a few different versions of this. So this is kind of the same idea that I see. So I see a lot of strong players move their queen over, which is their plan is to ditch the queen and then do the same thing that we just talked about. They're like, now that the queen's gone, I can march this king over here, and I get the two kills. So they start marching on over, and then similar to the last game, I move my pawn up, and they're like, we're going to go get this pawn, and they don't see that I can move my queen out, and then essentially do that same cleaning that we just did. So there we go. I swear I put together like 3 more chapters of other lines, but I don't see them, so we're going to call that good for now. So that's my nail and hammer trap. You'll see me playing it, even against strong players. Like I said, it's if they decline all of those traps and avoid them, it's still a pretty evenly matched game. So I'm fine with it. But there's tons of just easy wins. So hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you have questions. See you guys.